Welcome to yet another episode of Winning at Work with Barkha Herman. And today, my guest is someone that I've been trying to get on the podcast for a very long time. This is Lorraine Stoker. She's a program manager and she was a colleague at Microsoft. So I've known her for several years. She works as a program manager in the devices area of Microsoft, which is very exciting. So welcome, Lorraine. How are you?
Hey, I'm really good. First of all, huge thanks to you, Barkha, for inviting me on your podcast. I'm truly honored to be here. I deeply admire your work as a technologist, developer advocate, podcaster, mentor. You have empowered women in technology in so many areas, and you've created space for their voices to be heard. So I'm really grateful to have an opportunity to share my story with you today.
Oh, that's very touching. Thank you. So Lorraine, so tell me a little bit, like a 1 minute overview of your work, or take your time. It doesn't have to be 1 minute. What you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, sure. Happy to share. I am currently a lead technical program manager at Microsoft, where I help global teams to design, develop, and deliver manufacturing test solutions for the Surface products that you see out in the world. My role mainly focuses on planning and managing scope, schedule, and cost to ensure we launch devices with highest quality. I've been with Microsoft for over a decade now, where I continue to thrive on innovation, continuous learning, and fostering collaboration. I believe that when you bring the right people together and you create the space for every voice, the engineering just follows. So if you ask my colleagues, they would describe me as being an dependable, just turning every project that I take on into something exceptional. So I feel really incredible being in Microsoft because I'm surrounded with such inspiring leaders and mentors who continuously help me to learn, grow, and achieve more every day. If you ask what my mantra is, I would say it's embracing continuous learning and definitely leading with empathy.
Wow, that is amazing. How inspiring, first of all. And second of all, yeah, that's high praise coming from leadership and I know some of your colleagues and I've heard nothing but good things about you. So that's amazing. I want to step back a little bit and ask you about your origin story. So I'm a comic book geek. So the first thing I ask all my guests is, how did you get started in this? Would a 5 year, 10-year-old Lorraine want to go work for Microsoft? And so how did you get here?
Thank God. It's a long story. All the way from a small place that I grew up in, Bangalore, to US is a journey. So I was born and brought up in Bengaluru, which is the southern part of India. I came from a middle class family where my mom taught me three values that has shaped my life. So she said, stay humble, respect everyone, and never stop learning. Money was really very tight when we were growing up. Even though I earned a free seat at engineering college through good grades, I still had to cover small fees, which I would manage by taking tuitions at home after I got back from college. Now, in my final year of engineering, though I was doing computer science, we only got computers for 30 minutes in the whole week in the lab. And that wasn't enough for me to even finish my project and stuff. So I really needed a computer. And we didn't have the money to afford one. So I took a bank loan. I hunted for parts across different multiple stores so I can get a good bargain deal there. And those days, we did not have YouTube tutorials. So I had to rely on books and friends to build my very first PC right from scratch. I think that was just not about building computer. It was the beginning of my passion for solving tough problems. Very early in my career, I discovered that my strength was bringing people together and turning complexity into clarity. I started my career as a software engineer. That company it wasn't doing very well, so I quickly transitioned to Hewlett Packard as a trainer, where I got promoted really quick and I became a team leader. and later moved to Sutherland Technologies, where I was in a leadership role in my career. I was managing a large team and had a very good size of people reporting to me directly. My team actually helped there in transitioning global programs back to India. So I did a lot of travel. I loved the cultural connection and the challenge of making big transitions seamless. But after I moved to US, I had to take a break for a couple of years because I had visa issues. So, but that didn't stop me from teaching or growing. I volunteered at school, senior center, taught them about computers because that's what I love. I started a mom's group. I love emceeing from nonprofit organizations. So I just found my passion and way, irrespective of what life threw on me. So that path eventually led me to Microsoft, where today I lead global teams in manufacturing test solutions, ensuring Surface products meet the highest quality standard. I'd like to say, Barkha, that we turn complexity into confidence because what customers unbox is not just a product, but it's trust. So, from building my very first PC back in India, all the way to building quality at scale, my journey has proven by being empathy. In fact, in my office, they call me empathy champion. So, yeah, it's always about being empathetic, resilience, and the belief that excellence should be designed in everything that we do. If you put your passion and put your heart to it, you can achieve anything.
Wow, what a journey. And I would even say that that first computer you built was your foray into hardware, and that's where you are today. So that there's a, there's a flow there of intention. How amazing. So tell me, did you choose engineering because it was the thing to do, or did you choose it? I know growing up as a young girl in India, there may have been other directions that people wanted you to take. So tell me a little bit about that.
God, no, I never dreamt that I would get into computers because back then, I think in India, it was like everybody followed what the others did or what your parents told you need to be. So computers was not something I even had thought about.
Right.
My dad wanted me to be a doctor. I said, I'll be a terrible doctor because I cannot see blood. So that was his dream down the drain. And then by the way, I did get into both medicine and engineering in the first list. I aced it with very good scores, but I chose not to take medicine. I would have been a terrible doctor. But yeah, computers was the next big option because all my friends were doing it. And I had no idea what it was, right? Because I had not seen a computer before that. Like, I didn't know much about it. Not till I joined the college, I realized I love it. So it was by chance, I'd say. It was not something that was planned or, it was just destiny, I guess.
It was serendip. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. All right. So yeah, I mentor a lot of high school young ladies and they're not sure what they want to do. So there's a lesson here for them saying, stay open, you'll find your field. So let me ask you something. As a woman and as a woman of color, what have been some of the challenges unique to your pursuit in career and success? What are some of the challenges?
There were quite a few. I think very early in my career, the hardest part was being the only woman in the room. So often I would not only be the only youngest women leader in the room, but I would be surrounded with men who came from elite colleges. So it was extremely intimidating just sitting there. I sometimes felt like I had to prove myself twice as much. But instead of focusing on what I couldn't control, I think I leaned on to what I was good at, which is extremely a fast learner and a very good team player. And I loved solving hard problems. So that mindset helped me build trust and credibility without losing authenticity. I never saw being different as a disadvantage, but I saw it as an opportunity to bring unique perspective. Over time, those habits, which is continuous learning, collaboration, and leading with empathy, became my superpowers. So they helped me navigate challenges without major setbacks and shaped me into a leader that I am today. So
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Um, So for women who are facing some of the challenges that somebody like your background would have, what do you have to say to them? What message would you give them? Because it's easy to say, "Hey, look at the positive," but sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah, I think if I have to give advice for women in IT, there are four things take away from what I have personally learned. Believe, learn, network early, and do it all with empathy. So
Mm.
first, believing that you belong is very, very important. Like I shared my story, just being the only woman in the room can be intimidating, but your perspective matters. So don't let the gender, title, or stereotype shake your confidence. You've earned the seat there, so you got to own it. And never stop learning. Right from my mom to even Mr. Satya Nadella always says his favorite quote is, stop doing useful things if you're not learning. So I strongly believe in that. So be curious and definitely keep learning as you go along. And build your network really early, because relationships open doors that skills alone can't. So finding your mentors, your allies, your peers who lift you up is very important. And you continue to do the same for others. That's important too. And always lead with empathy. Success is not about being the smartest person in the room, but it's about creating spaces where everyone can thrive. So that's how you build trust and confidence. So definitely believe, learn, network, and do it with empathy. That would be my advice.
That's beautiful, beautifully said. Yeah, I think that when I was facing some of the challenges, people asked me about it. I think I was just too dumb to notice some of the challenges. I just forged ahead.
And we all learn in our own way, right? Yeah. I made so many mistakes, but I always take that as an opportunity for learning. So
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How about some of the advantages of being a woman and woman of color, somebody who is a first generation immigrant in a new environment? What were some of the things that actually worked in your favor?
I think, like I said, the learning and stuff like that definitely helped me. But the most rewarding experience as a woman in tech, if you ask me, were two important things. One would be impact and representation. And the second one is definitely inspiring and mentoring. When I say impact and representation, for me, it's like every time I walk into the room and bring a perspective that might not otherwise be heard, I know I'm helping shape a better decision and bringing more inclusive solution. Like Barkat, tech touches everywhere, right? So being a part of that transformation and knowing something that I've contributed will reach millions of people, it's extremely, incredibly fulfilling. Another big reward is definitely inspiring and mentoring others. When younger women or underrepresented voices see someone like them thriving in tech, it sends a very powerful message. It tells them you belong here. So I've had people who walked up to me and said, seeing you in this role gave me the confidence to pursue mine. I have college kids who come up to me and say, oh, I want to be like you someday. I said, if I can do it, anybody can do it, believe me. So I think it's very, very important to, never give up. Failures happen. Nobody gets there without a failure. It's a part of life. But the most rewarding part is to find the gift within you and be able to share that. And I think you don't know how much light you have until you shine it on others. So as a woman, I think that is something that I've embraced every day, day in, day out, wherever I go.
Yeah, no, beautifully said. How inspirational. Yeah, I always found that, sometimes being the only woman in the room is the advantage because, you represent everything. So, it's how you look at it. You said it earlier, your perspective definitely matters. And then, applying to speak at events, and always got picked because there was no competition for a while. So that was always a good thing. Um,
In fact, I'm the only woman at home too. I have two boys.
wow.
It's not only at home, even here, it's like three against one.
There you
They
go.
all team up against me, and I'm like, okay, guys, come on, bring it on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that works. It works. So The next question I want to ask you about is if you had to go back in time and give advice to like a younger you, a 18-year-old or even a 15-year-old you, what would you say to her?
Gosh, I think I wish I had known this before, but if I had to go back and tell my younger self, it would be you're stronger than you think, and every challenge will shape you into the leader you're meant to be. I would definitely ask myself not to compare against anybody because comparison is a thief of joy. Set your own benchmark and strive to be the best version of yourself. Like my son would say it, he'll say, beat your own TR, mom. So yeah, beat my own benchmark every single day. That's the feedback I would give myself.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. How about what advice do you have for any woman who is what is the number one advice you give to women that you're mentoring, whether they be working at Microsoft or in your community or university or high school even?
Yeah. I think for those people who reach out, it's either they are looking for a career change or they are handling conflict in office. So there is, before I even jump into figuring out what the actual problem is, I think one thing everybody should understand is, like I spoke earlier, failure is constant. Nobody succeeds every single time, right?
Yeah.
So knowing it's fine, it's okay to fail, but learning from the failure is the most important lesson that we all need to do. And even till today, I fail sometimes, which is fine, but the point is to get wrapped things around and know where you're failing and continue to learn and thrive and put yourself in other people's shoes, and that can help you handle any situation in office, be it conflict, be it issues with anything. And definitely be have empathy with you no matter where you go.
Yeah, I find that women, especially, and I don't know if it's societal or personal, want to always do the right thing. So they put a lot more pressure on themselves on not to fail. So that's beautiful. That's a very inspiring words right there. Thank you. And I want to wrap up by asking you, is there anything that you want to promote? Where can people find you? Um, do you want to share something, personal projects or pet projects, anything you want to promote?
Yeah. So, Barkha, like I said, I grew up in a very middle class family.
Yeah.
So, but my mom, very deeply till date, she believes in giving back. And that's the most beautiful lesson that I have taken from her. So, even when we had very little, we always found a way to share what we had with others because every contribution counts, no matter how small. So, celebration in our house, like milestones, can be birthdays, anniversaries, promotions, anything at all, any family events, was never just about us. We marked those moments by donating in orphanages, church, or volunteering for a cause that we believed in, right? It's a tradition that we still continue in our family. My brother does it, I do it, and my kids are following it now. So, my advice for everybody would be like find a cause that you want to support. Choose one that resonates with your heart, whether it's education, hunger relief, or community development, doesn't matter. Just find what works for you. And do your part, even if it's the smallest one, just do it. And being in Microsoft, Barkha, how huge we are with Microsoft Give events, right? It's extremely meaningful because Microsoft amplifies this impact by matching donation and also by providing additional support to help us give even more. So I truly believe that the meaning of life is to find your gift and the purpose should be to give it away. Please find ways through give through time, talent, treasure, all of it or some of it, but definitely go ahead and do that. And about finding me, LinkedIn is the best way. I'm very active in LinkedIn. So anybody who's interested can reach out to me on LinkedIn anytime. Happy to help.
Yeah, that's very generous. And what wise words. I love it. Thank you so much for being an inspiration to me personally. I follow you on LinkedIn and I'm always amazed at your success and also giving your time. I'm sure that there are going to be women who listen to this podcast and are inspired to take themselves on. Thank you, Lorraine.
Oh, thank you so much, Barkha. Likewise, I am your fan and I follow you, and I can't wait to see great things that you're doing for women in tech. So thank you. Thank you for having
All right. Thank you.
me.